Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today it is Odin's Day on the 28th day of the month of Maya, and the moon is just beginning to be waxing. So it's a waxing crescent, but really, really, really slivery. And that doesn't matter for when this message is received for you. So this is for whenever you find this video. This message is for. So let's see. I'm using the Elder Truth Archon Birch again. Let's see what message wants to come through for us today. Right. Let's see what message wants to come through for everybody today. Dee, 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 dee. Alrighty. So your central issue today for this message that is coming through is Hagalaz. Hagalaz is the rune of chaos. It's the hailstorm. So it's the rune of let's see if I can get this a little bit closer. It's the rune of chaos, things that are out of our control, nature. I'm just closing the window. Natural forces, natural energies. So things have been feeling a little bit chaotic, basically, for whoever this message is for, whenever you find this message. Leading up to this is actually particularly jarring because it's coming from a situation where you were very much in control, where you were taking things in hand and shaping them into what you needed them to be. And now you're in a situation where you really feel like things are out of control. Things are a lot more chaotic happening, like very stormy kind of thing. So we have Ingvaz, which is Ing's rune. That was you taking things in hand. Basically, you could shape things into what you needed them to, but then, you control something until you can't. And then now you're in a situation where you feel like things are flying out of control. You don't have the control that you had where you were taking things in hand and controlling them. So now things are flying around. There's a sense of even things sort of in a rebellious way returning to their natural state and just being like just not wieldy, just basically completely like wild things happening. So what's going to actually help? We have Vunyo reversed, and I'm going to read this a couple ways. First of all, Vunyo is the rune of joy. It's basically the rune of joy. In the upper line, reversed, I'm going to read this first of all as reversal. So to help you get through this just initially so that you can just bear it, I would say look to your inner joy. Look for what, the joy that can't be taken from you, the joy that you always have access to within. So that's the suggestion, is to look for that. First of all, tap into that, because once you've tapped into that, then everything else is going to get easier. You're going to be able to, deal with things a little bit better once you have a grip on, okay, I can still feel happiness even if it's something I have to make myself, which really one needs to just keep in mind in general. The other thing that Vunyo reversed is saying in this particular case is be honest with yourself of where your discontentments are as far as this goes, because you could be just like that dog in the cartoon. It's like, this is fine while everything is on fire. And just basically be honest with yourself where your discontentments are and be ready to deal with those, when you're facing them, because things are flying out of control. Things are not fine. There is a certain amount of wildness that is going to happen anyway, but generally speaking, you're going to feel like, things are a bit crazy. You may feel like things are a bit like, you may be like, okay, I'm acknowledging that this is really unpleasant. I'm actually throwing down a couple more runes for this, because this is a tricky one with the crazy things, and I think we may need a little bit more assistance, and thankfully we have it, in the name of, once you've acknowledged, first of all, tap into your own inner joy. Secondly, acknowledge where you are discontent, where there's discontentment happening. And this will help you to take that step and connect with what is supporting you. We have Algies, which is the rune of the elk, otherwise known as the moose. And this is basically your support. This is your outer support. Obviously you've already tapped into your inner support when you tapped into your inner joy. Hopefully, and your inner support is always implied. You have your guardians, guides, gods, goddesses, all of that. But, and whatever else you have. So that's an inner, and that's always implied, and that's implied where you're turning inward to find your joy within anyway. This is basically, once you've acknowledged, yes, I admit that I have discontentments in this moment. This is going to help you to take that step and connect with what is supporting you. This could be people. This could be, friends, family kind of thing, as long as you trust them and that they support you and protect you. This could be systems, things in place that will also help you with something like this. But it's something that's going to be outside of yourself that you're going to go to because you have done what you can and you've tapped into what you can. But you do have discontentments and you may need help with that. So definitely have that. Let yourself take those steps and connect with what is supporting you. For what isn't helping you in this moment of wild, stormy chaos is we have Berkana. Berkana is the rune of the birch tree. This has to do with beginnings and birth. This is not the time to begin something new. In fact, if you think you can roll up your sleeves and deal with this, like you've been dealing with what you've been dealing with before, where you were taking things in hand and shaping them, that's only going to make you even more upset, frustrated, and crazy, because it's just like you can't, you may take a deep breath, like a deeper breath than usual, and still try to do it, and it's still going to be, trying to catch all the hailstones. So this is not the time to begin something new. You're going to be concerned about the things that are beginning, and maybe even just concerned about, this is new, everything's going crazy now. So that's another read on that. But this is basically, the deepest thing is you're afraid of looking like you're being still, like you're not moving. We have Isa, which is the rune of ice. It's the rune of stillness and standstill in the lower line. And given, what all of these are positive runes in a negative spot, basically. Although some might argue that Isa is not, but it is. Isa doesn't have a reversal anyway. So basically the situation is you may be concerned about appearing like you're not moving, like you've worked really, really hard. And so it's probably a part of your identity where you feel like, I want to be seen as a hard worker, and I want to be seen as capable and able to deal with this. But this is out of anybody's capability. This is a whole freaking hailstorm flying around you, and you can't be expected to rein that in and harness it all by yourself. So, yes, don't just fly ahead and try to begin something new, and don't worry about being seen as stagnant or not moving, because you are doing what you have to do. Like, if this is happening, bring yourself back up to tap into your inner joy, get that going on, so you're actually feeling a little bit more comfortable and can breathe. But then acknowledge where you have discontentments, acknowledge where things are out of your ability at this point, and then move to where you can get some support on that, because that's going to be critical. Your outcome for this is Dagas. Dagas is the rune of the breaking of the day. You will have a breakthrough with this. This is just a momentary thing. Storms are by their very nature momentary. So that's something that you really don't have to worry about. I mean, it's always going to be, they come in, they make a mess, and then they leave, but sometimes they can be very destructive. So keeping that in mind, nobody's taking this lightly, but it is going to be short-lived. It is a storm. But while it's happening, and you do need to catch these things, obviously you're dealing with this and it's destructive and you want to minimize the destructiveness. And there are things that you are discontented about in this moment. So definitely get the help and support that you need on this, and be honest with yourself with what you need. But you are going to have a breakthrough very, very shortly after this moment. So the sun is going to come out. We have Dagas, which is the breaking of the day. So even if this is crazy and chaotic, it's not going to last forever. It's not even going to last very long. In the grand scheme of things, your literal next step is the sunlight is breaking through. You'll be able to see everything clearly again, and you'll have that breakthrough. So hang in there and get the help you need, because that's what this is basically reassuring you of and nudging you to do. So that is the message that is coming through today for whoever this message is for, whenever you find it. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.